Alright, I think we're back and fixed. I've discovered all the problems, guys, so we'll do this a little better. It'll be a little more streamlined. So here we go, Army of Kittens, the Chaos Mordheim Madness Warband. It's fixed now. I realized what I did. I was linking my bookmarks when they're not all correct, the bookmarks. I've tweaked builds as I've gone. And so I actually had to hyperlink this thing. Because those are the new builds. Karn cannot play our match anymore. Oh well. That's actually kind of a letdown. That means no more PvP, I guess. So. Alright, anyway, sorry. Distraction. So here's my Magister. Mastery Exhaustion. For increased movement. I have to start all over. I have 8 movement with Knowledge of Mordheim Mastery. So I want to move around and stay alive. Excuse me, guys. I have 8 blue pills. I can get 3 more from Exhaustion. Give me 11 blue pills with 8 movement is 88 movement. Introspection as well to give me 2 red pills back for once I cast Weapons of Destruction. So I can cast this once on 1 unit and make that my target for the round for order. Or I can stand inside idle a change and cast it twice, each time for 1 red pill. And I can cast other spells as well, like Chains of Chaos. We'll just go through these, which is a great defensive spell for taking down impressives. It makes their attacks cost 2 more to do. So usually they only can get 2 attacks off instead of like 3, 4, 5, 6. And they can't use offensive skills, so it's very nice with Mastery. Acid Breath I took just to take something, quite honestly. It's stackable and you can strip armor with it, but oops. It's hard to find a use for that because it's very, very small range. And I'm usually in the back lines. And you're usually better off using Order or Chains of Chaos. And then literally I had 2 magic pills left, so I don't know if I'll ever use this. This could be useful, I guess, to go stun some dodge units. I don't know. Technically reduces their dodge too. I've never used it, but we could run in there and blow up. Try to stun everything. This was great in my last PvP. My Doomweaver basically did this to my entire team, causing me to lose. It's good for him. I took a Tome of Abilities, Tome of Magic, of course, Book of Training Toughness, Physical Grimoire, +3, a Staff, Light Armor. I believe this is actually a pendant, but it could be an amulet, whatever you want. Just don't do Helmet because it reduces casting chance. Again, max toughness. I want to have a lot of hit points to stay alive. You're not going to use a Constitution rune, so that's about it for him right there, I think. Because you want to use the casting rune. Whatever it is, focus, I think. Agility to try to dodge if something attacks me. 55. It might be a coin flip. 1 time. Leadership, so I can pass route tests. 15 intelligence for... I think this needs it. Yeah, Introspection, Knowledge in Mordheim. Need the 15 leadership for Battle Tongue. 9 alertness to get to 63 initiative to work within my initiative ladder. And then again, I took ballistic skill maxed by 1. Just so, and I carry a bow in my offhand in case I get silenced somehow, or strangling globe, or dumbfounded where you can't cast magic. So I can just switch to a bow and try to do something instead of looking pretty. Again, Mastery Battle Tongue, so I can do Order reduced by 1 point. And then I took Mastery Order. I do not need to take that. All it gives is plus, well, it does increase the range too, which is pretty important. And it also increases your hit chance. So I wanted that for melee resist builds and so I can be back further in the second line even more. We've talked about Introspection, so I can do 3 orders with the Weapons of Destruction. And then Channeling gives me 2 casts of Weapons of Destruction without exploding. My third one I think is like a 13%, which is still not terrible. So we didn't need Mastery. So that's why we went basic there. So there you can kind of see the Magister. He's an Order Magister. I've played so many Magisters, and this is the only viable build I could find for them. Looks like we're doing a mutant hero next. Just going to randomly click through these. This is Pickles. I've not played much with mutants except for archers, so I wanted to try to use some melee versions. And they're the only unit, at least only hero, that can wear heavy armor in the warband. So I wanted to make one tanky unit, and I wanted to make him kind of be able to tank, but also be able to be dangerous and do crits. So he has an armband to bypass parry, so dodge will be tough for him, like it is most units. And he had the crusher, so it gives increased crit chance, along with this mastery blood offering to give him pretty good critical hit chance. Now here you can see his skills, 12 and 12, toughness, you want to stay alive, and I want to be able to do damage. I want him to be a threat instead of agility. You can make some really cool melee resist mutants, which a lot of people do, with agility, alertness, and weapon skill all being pretty high. But I just don't think it's good enough because he's got such bad leadership and he can be stunned. There's all kinds of problems with it that don't make him that strong at it, honestly. And maybe the Marauder a bit stronger. Again, so they make the best mutant archers. Their best role is archery, but this guy's alright as a tank, the only hero tank you can get. You could always do a Lad's Got Talent Dark Soul, which there was a point where I was thinking about doing that, but I digress. He needs 9 intelligence because I wanted knowledge and Mordheim. I wanted this alertness for staggering blow mastery. Weapon skill 18, I believe I gave him the book for weapon skill, and accuracy 12. They actually get really good martial. They get really easy accuracy. That's another reason to make him a crit build. This is not accurate. I don't think it counts the mutations. It's not quite right at all. I think he's at 25, and I think the mutation gives 8. This must not, yeah, he must not have equipment on. Maybe that's why too. With the purple armband, I believe he's at 25% crit chance. And then once he does a blood offering, it's at 35. And a lot of people live in the 20 to 25 range. So he'll have like a 10 to 15 crit chance, which is enough tax over a match. You should be critting some people, so it's pretty nice, I think. So staggering blow, he's slow as shit. His initiative, he's my slow guy in the warband. That must be right. I thought he was around 42. Let me look. I'm in game. Am I missing something? You have initiative 42. And I actually have an alertness chest piece on, so I don't know what's going on there. Pyrospace isn't always correct, but I could be wrong. 599. 59. So that's actually 11. So if anything, he should be even faster. That'd be like 52. So I'm missing 10 from somewhere. Oh, I know why. It's probably because I don't have equipment again. I don't have heavy armor on. Should have finished the build. So he's actually 42 initiative. But with the Helmet of Celerity, he jumps up to 62 and he joins the rest of the warband. But I was talking about this anyway because Staggering Blow, he's slow. So I wanted to bring down some of these fast rats and other fast units. If you do this, it's stackable, and Mastery drops initiative by 30, which is a huge amount. I got to use it in my last match to effectiveness. I didn't kill the unit, but it worked. It dropped my target below me, so I could attack him again. But yeah, you can really drop down a unit that's an important unit. Say it's an impressive. He's got heavy armor. He gets on there. He drops their initiative for then the Daredevil Possessed to come in and finish the target before it can act again. Can also help to keep himself alive. If a big bad target's on him, he can drop it below him. Blood Offering for increased damage to go with his 12 strength, and then the increased crit we've talked about, and then just basic Web of Steel. It's a pretty good investment for basic. I feel like the cost for Mastery isn't worth it just for one more parry for 2 skill points. Just seems like a poor investment. And then Armor Proficient. I almost went with Light Armor, and you could, and then save 6 skill points here to maybe give him a Mastery Vital Strike, or I don't know, something. You could mix things up for sure. Zinch Warding goes with his Demon Soul, and he can get really good magic resistance with the Amulet of Spell Breaking, or warding weapons, or spell breaking shields. Knowledge of Mordheim for the 9 movement with the Claw Feet, so he can actually get to targets, get into a Web of Steel. Protect back lines because he doesn't have exhaustion, and then he's a tank, so you need resilient. for that crit resist. See, most people are around this 22, 20 to 25. Again, Crusher, more crits. Reduces poison resist, which can help. These things do attack poisons the arms of the possessed. And again, Clawfoot for movement, Demon Soul, magic resist. Martial Grimoire, Tome of Abilities, and weapon skill. So we got really good weapon skill. We want to land our shots. So I think I have weapon skill and alertness chess piece. The 2-2 combo. I don't know what it's called. Yeah, so that's him. Hopefully he's going to do some more good things. I wasted him against Clyde, but he did alright against True Griffin. He really held down the house. Who's this? The Marauder, the crit guy. This guy's so fun. Fortunately, I didn't bring him to Mordheim Madness, but I play him in my PvEs. I figured I'd include him in here. This is a crit Marauder. You can make a crit possessed build too, or a crit spawn. The Chaos make really good crit units. Because you can get Crusher, Smasher, and I think there's a Ripper. Or you can get even an extra arm. I think the Blade for the Possessed does crit as well. So you can do like Crasher, Smasher, extra arm, Blade. I think adds crit chance as well. So you can even up it even higher than what this guy has. He gets about 70% crit chance. And I could have added it even more with Fatality. But here's his strength, his toughness. He has 0 defense, so you want an HP pool to draw from, especially since he has Adrenaline Rush. And no agility. You want to do damage and stay alive. Leadership 12 to try to combat those fear and terrors and add to the morale pool. 9 for Knowledge of Mordheim, that's pretty basic. And he's just slow. He's just really slow too. That's where this and the Mutant are kind of awkward with this warband. 20 weapon skill, so you can give him the chess piece of weapon skill and accuracy. So you get 20 and 12 total. You can even up leadership or toughness. I mean, but weapon skill with whatever you want. And then accuracy. He gets good accuracy. That's 10 crit chance plus the 2 arms are 16. Plus I put Havoc Bracers. I think that's another 8 combined, so that's 32. So that's 42. Pretty sure he's sitting at 49 or something like that. Be doing the math wrong. He might be sitting at 39 base. You can look at him real quick. Like literally just sitting in the... He's at 39. So maybe the Havoc Bracers... I got something wrong there by 4. So maybe it's the Havoc Bracers. Anyway, you get good crit chance, so then what you do is you pop your Blood Offering for 10% more crit chance on your first attack. You want that to land. It's very important that that lands. Because then you do two Vital Strikes for 20% more. So that's 30%. Onto the 40, you're at 70%. If you're going up against a stun target, you get 20 more. So he can get up to 90% crit chance. So another thing I could have done is for a passive, and I did this on a previous build, instead of all this fancy stuff, just take Mastery Fatality. Basically what that means is you get 10% more crit chance if you haven't critted the target. So it usually works that you do a Blood Offering and you gain 10% from Blood Offering, 10% from Fatality, and then gain another 20 from Vital Strike on that second swing. So it's plus 40% crit chance on top of the 40 you already have. I decided to give him instead, again, if the math is 3, 4, 5, right, because of tiring. So that adds up to 12. So you start with 9, Mastery, Adrenaline Rush. You can do all 3 attacks. But then I gave him this Attracting Lure just as a leftover because you can do 3, 4, Attracting Lure and not take as much of a beating between not having any defense and taking 60 from Adrenaline Rush. But I fail Attracting Lures at about a 75% rate, so I don't know. What's the point? Resilient, because he's going to get hit, so you want to stand in there. You're just going to get hit, so you're going to be rolling for crits every turn yourself. Knowledge of Mordheim for the movement, 9 with clawed feet to get to where you want to be. And then Hardy to give him even more HP. I think he takes a Helmet of Constitution, and he gets above 400. So they got to hit him a lot to kill him. He's what I would call a second line unit. Here's his tomes and books. He's guarding the back row and then moves in to finish off stun targets, or he's the last to go as well with this initiative. cleans things up or protects your leaders and mages. Light armor, helmet. It's a lot of fun. Definitely in PvE. Here's the Possessed, my bread and butter. Most people hate these units. I think they try to build them to survive, when really they're supposed to be small chaos spawns. These are just little baby mutant impressives. So look at this, 1717. I think that's with the physical book, but you can easily just max that out, man. Yeah, Tome of Abilities, weapon skill. 17 and 17. That's a huge HP pool. That's a lot of damage. You can make, I've tried dodge builds, especially if they lose an arm. You can do all kinds of things to try to make it a tank unit. But if you're playing Possessed as a tank, you're already fucking up, to be quite honest. He's supposed to come out and rip things apart. He's technically your born leader. I would not recommend that. But he can add a lot to the morale pool. And he doesn't get Knowledge of Mordheim, so you may as well. Even though he's immune to all the fear and terror. Is that on here? Yeah. It sure makes a nice morale pool, though, because you can have low morale as chaos. And you can get Mastery Insult. And alertness for him is just to figure out the initiative order. I must have done something wrong again, because he's at 63. Did I not put something on him? I don't understand. Again, this isn't always correct. But he's sitting at 63. So for some reason there's 5 missing. Whatever. Weapon skill. He's got the chest piece of weapon skill for 19. And he wanted some dodge bypass with his Daredevil. So that gives me 18 dodge bypass. Exhaustion to hit and run. So this is actually bubbles. Daredevil to amp the damage. Blood Offering to amp the damage. And then the math works. You do Blood Offering. Okay, first you do Daredevil. Then you do Blood Offering. That's 6. Then you have 3 left, right? So if you do Adrenaline Rush, you can then do a Strong Blow to maybe finish off a target. If you decided that's not worth it, then you just do a second attack for the 3 red pills. Or conversely, you know, RNG, you miss your first Blood Offering. It's definitely worth it to Adrenaline Rush and try the Blood Offering again. Then Hardy to max out. That really works with 17 toughness to give you a lot of HP. And Resilient, because again, he's going to get hit over and over and over. So you want to pass the crit tests. Yeah, this is Bubbles. He has Slicer. Again, plus 12 hit chance. Plus you can reduce melee resist. Really nice again if that lands. This is probably why. It's probably not calculating that into it right there. Also grants plus 5 initiative. Maybe, yeah, I have an armband on. I don't know why it's not putting that in. Claw Feet for the movement, for hit and run with exhaustion, and an extra limb mace for damage and hit chance, and then dodge bypass. So he gets 18 plus 10 is 28. And then I think I have Abrasive Speed for 38, so that's pretty good against most tanky units. And then plus 10 hit chance, plus 12, 22, plus, we'll just round to 20, say it's plus 40 for that. Your base is 80, plus the Mastery Order. You're going to hit a lot of melee resist tanks, okay? It's like they don't even have it. So there's his tomes and books, and armbands, clothing, and he's really prone to stuns himself, because he can only wear pendants. And there's no point in a pendant, so you're basically wearing an amulet of spell breaking every time. Or I might have an amulet of constitution, actually. This is his brother Finley. I'm sorry, Fluffykins. He used to be called Finley. I renamed him the Army of Kittens. FF. Blood Offering, Daredevil. He has Frenzy. I wanted to maximize damage. I really wish this was Exhaustion, but it's an old build, and I didn't want to remake another one, so we're rolling with it. It kind of gives it a different flavor. This is it. This is the only thing different. Instead of Exhaustion, it's Frenzy. And then he has an axe instead of a mace. And I think he has the left arm one. Again, I would have made this a right arm, but I didn't really feel like re-rolling that. Or I could have made that an axe, and this maybe the... There's a few things you can do, a few iterations, but this is just fine for what I'm doing. Same books. Same stuff here. Again, he's 63. It's getting it wrong with, I don't think it's including this +5. That's what it would be with it included that. So it's the exact same as my Magister. And I'll stop for a second so you can see the stats again. Actually, this is older build. This is actually what I did. His weapon skill is different. So I think this one, I used a martial tome. The other guy used a physical tome and maxed those, and then used the chest piece +4. So I think I did a +2 chest piece with +2 toughness. So it's just slightly different. Yeah, I thought that was him. Here's the headshot mutant archer. These are what mutants are supposed to be. You maximize toughness, you don't need any strength. Agility, in case you get locked down, you got pretty good dodge. That increases obviously when you switch to a one-handed weapon. I think my guy's 95. Because he's wearing cloth. This might be in light armor. Yeah, I messed that up. Even though I have the eye, it let me put on leather. It's actually cloth. So he's 10% more to the dodge. So 75. And then I think it becomes 95 when he's one. I don't know. Whatever. He gets really good dodge if you get locked down. So that's why I went with agility. Plus there's no point for strength. 9 for Miles and Mordheim. This I got to 5 just to make sure he got 65 initiative. Again, he has cloth in this for reality, so it's actually 65 and not light armor. He can't wear light armor with the eye. I messed that up. You can only wear cloth with that. So the character planner should not let me put it on in the first place. So 65, so he goes out there and headshots targets first, so then people can move in and rip them apart. Good wound base, especially with the Helmet of Constitution, gives him like 350 wounds to pull from for doing exhaustion and adrenaline rush. And then 15-15, so he's actually got really good crit chance. You need a 15 for the headshot mastery. I don't know if I like this or not. You get 15% more. But I don't know if it was worth the 4 skill points, to be honest with you. It may have been better to go basic and then take 2 other basic shots in here. You know, like maybe a knee shot, nerve shot. I don't know. But this guy's either going to stun you or he's going to just shoot you 6 times. So that's it. He's either going to do raw damage or just try to stun the target. And he'll decide in the heat of the battle which to do. Exhaustion for, reloading because you're doing a lot of shots because you have Mastery Adrenaline Rush. You can get 12 red pills. That's 6 shots. So you need to reload a lot or move away. And then quick reload, obviously, and then Knowledge of Mordheim. He has mutations, so he's really limited on his skills. That's how Chaos works. You don't get free mutations. These are like free skills, so that's why they had to remove some. Like this is like a really good magic resistance mastery skill. This is knowledge of Mordheim plus easier climbing, So these are like better than mastery level skills. That's why they had to kind of take away some actual skills. I don't know if y'all knew that. There's his books he took. Accuracy to get the 15 and 15. And martial to get there. Bow, light armor. You can get amulet spell breaking to have really good magic resist with the demon soul. You're kind of a mage killer, so why not the demon soul? My other guy took wordstone horns. Not wordstone, crown of bones to give him stun resist himself. And he actually has not the eye, but yeah, that. He has demon soul and then crown of bones instead of the eye. But then I had to invest more in initiative climbing because he wears light armor, so it gives him better armor, but he has less hit points. It's kind of, I don't know. They're very similar in a lot of ways, but anyway, this is the one I'm playing in Mordheim Madness. The dreaded Doomweaver. I don't know what to say about these guys. I try to make them work. They're just too unpredictable for PvP, but I'm trying. Mad agility and weapon skill. The game's trying to tell you to make him like a melee resist dive bomber, which a lot of people do, but even that is just way too unreliable, and you don't do a lot of damage output yourself. So I tried to make them casters, actual casters, using Burning Bloods, which do a lot of damage. So maxed up intelligence as much as I kind of could to try to get the damage output out. Wanted to get the initiative where it mattered. Again, this guy probably has cloth. Yeah, but I put light armor. So he's actually 65, so he goes first along with the archers to put down the idols that the Magister can then use. Toughness to have a HP pool to draw from with Adrenaline Rush Mastery, which kind of hurts. But I've done different builds. I built one where it did Introspection plus Baby Adrenaline Rush to get 3 red pills. And I just didn't like losing the 3 blue pills. You can see here I actually screwed up. I left Introspection on here. So ignore this skill because this is what's actually replaceable. It's actually Mastery Adrenaline Rush with Sidestep. And on the one build, this is Stimulus. So I think I took him up to 9 alertness. So he's actually wearing leather and can do Stimulus. On the other build, this is Mastery Channeling. Okay, so substitute Mastery Channeling and turn Introspection into Stimulus. So, oh yeah, and this doesn't have master. Okay, I see. This actually is Mastery Exhaustion is what's going wrong. Introspection I have is Mastery Exhaustion. For what I just talked about, I wanted more mobility. I didn't like losing the 3 blue pills. I wanted to be able to run away. So this is actually Mastery Exhaustion. And then the one guy does not have Mastery Channeling. He has Stimulus right here, Mastery. And the other guy just has Mastery Channeling. Improved casting to make the Burning Blood stick, and then Knowledge of Mordheim, so you can use the Exhaustion and run around the map and get into positions. I mean, why not weapon skill? You literally can't take ballistics, so that's easy. And why have accuracy? I mean, so this kind of plays itself out. You can get really good toughness and agility, though. And that makes a beautiful sidestep. So why not have the basic sidestep? Again, I've already said I don't think it's worth mastery just to get one more dodge. I just don't see the return on investment. So these guys do some weird things. I actually have the one with basic Boon of Ruin and the other with mastery. So you can stack this on. This is actually 20 to 40. This is incorrect again. So you can do 30 to 60, I believe is what it is. Self-harm per attack. So the average would be 45. So basically you do 45, which is basically a comment. So if you stack these, you can do a comment onto a target every time they attack you. And my team, as you've seen, has 0 defense. So they're going to get, people are going to be swinging at them. So I decided that'd be cool to take. I just got to try to find a place to use it. Burning Blood's going to be your bread and butter. Once you put down the Idol of Change, they cost 1 less to cast. So you can do 3 of these, drop the Idol, and then do 3 of these the first turn, and then you can do 4 the second turn. So you can really pump out damage if you're standing in that Idol of Change. Because, let's do the math. You drop 3, right? So now you're down to 6 red pills, but you're in the Idol now, so each Burning Blood is 3, 3, Adrenaline Rush, another 3. And by then you're blowing up your teammates. It's good fun. Spiteful Manifestation to strip off even more armor, along with Weapons of Destruction. And people tend to cluster up too, so you can get out a pretty good damage. You can do, if 3 or 4 targets are there, you can do 90 to 100 damage 4 times. Because if you're in an idol, that's pretty good. You're not focusing, but you're doing a lot of damage and ripping off a lot of armor. And then Idol of Change to make, just to strip off, you could see me using it against the zombies to strip off their armor. The Call of Van Hell, you can take off Armor of Righteousness. You can do a lot with this spell, including harm yourself, of course. And it makes casting cost 1 less offensive point. There's his books. Maximizing Toughness again. Tome of Magic, Tome of Abilities, of course, and this was probably pumped right into Toughness. Staff, Light Armor, you can be Cloth Armor, Amulet of Focus probably, or if you just accept Exploding, you can take the one that Concentration to increase casting, because these get expensive, or like low cast chance because they're 4 red pills. See, it's minus 25, so you want to get that. If you put the concentration, it's up to 85% casting chance, which is much better. Anyway, I don't know what to say. They're just so RNG. When it works, it works. When it fails, good game. We can come back to him. Or are we already here? Looks like we're already on them. Okay, yeah, we've gone through every hero. Here's the Dark Soul. These are my dodge Dark Souls. 8, 12, 12. 12, 9, 4. 15, 3, 3. So I made mine as dual wield dodgy ones. I think dodge is better than parry because of all these daredevils you're seeing nowadays. And a lot of people don't build to get through dodge. You know, it's hard to touch. You need weapon skill, so no one touches accuracy until the end. So it's easier to have a dodge build. And I wanted them to dual wield and still be able to kind of tank a bit. So they get sidestep, maxed agility kind of as much as I could. I think I'd use a tome or a book of weapon skill, yeah, because they get really bad weapon skill. They're notorious for that. That's their one weakness. You don't want to leave that at 12, otherwise I could have made that 15. But they dodge just enough. It's just enough that it's feasible. It works. Attracting lure is really good. Unfortunately, it only works 25% of the time, even though it should be the other way around. But it's a great way to get free damage and free attacks off without using too many red pills, specifically Daredevil builds. So you attach this Dark Soul, who specifically has 61. I don't know why this is always wrong. Am I in leather? I'm in cloth. I don't know. It's actually 61. Maybe I have the axes. I just switched to axes. I bet that's why. They actually have maces of perforation. I just put axes in there. That's why, I think. So my Daredevils possessed are 63, then they're 61. They go attach themselves to where the Daredevil possessed is on and then do a lure test for free damage for the possessed. Exhaustion to try to get a pill back for that or for this or just to move into place. I have 2 unspent skills because you can do whatever you want kind of in here. You can do like strong blows, adrenaline rush. I mean, you don't have to take exhaustion even. You know, you can do like adrenaline rush, strong blow. There's a lot of different ways you can skin this cat. So I took stimulus on 2 of them and I took staggering blow. So they both must be basic skills to try to F with the initiative ladder. So I did that. Crazed is just so good. This is what makes them so good. They don't flee. And then with the lure, it's like they can disengage. It's like, oh, they can't disengage. Well, a disengage I think is 2 blue and 1 red. Or 2 red and 1 blue. It might be the other way around. It's basically the same cost. Of course, you're guaranteed to disengage unless you're against a wall. But this is kind of like disengaging while hurting your target. Like, it's pretty cool. I'd rather have that kind of disengage. So that's why this isn't a big deal with them. It's much worse with a ghoul who just has to stand there. Same with the Templar Purifier. Knowledge of Mordheim for movement, resilient because they're going to get hit. It's kind of everybody gets resilient. Hardy for more HP and avoid to try to get the dodges in. I mean, this could be like Zinch warding. Depends what you want. You could switch a few of these things. And there's clearly a heavy tank Dark Soul build, which I could have shown off, but I'm not using that right now. So, weapon skill, physical grimoire, tome of abilities. I might try these dual axes of perforation. That's 42% armor bypass. I don't know. I'm doing the maces of perforation. That's 20%. Plus with weapons of destruction, you get like 40, or you can do spiteful manifestation. But the maces give me plus 16% more hit chance, and they already have lower hit chance, right? But I believe I do have chest pieces of weapon skill, so they're at 19. I don't know. I might go axe and mace. I think if the mace is the main hand, maybe they'll still be 61. I'll try something like that. Clothing, and then this is whatever you want it to be. And then I feel like I've been going on a while. Here's the Brethren. This build can go into every single warband. It's what I use on every single henchman archer. Marksmen, verminkin, zealots, brethren. Whatever you want. Except undead. They don't get any. Or sisters, right? So, maximize toughness. You want a pool of HP to pull from for adrenaline rush. And you don't want to die immediately. Some people pump up agility instead and get like sidestep, but that's like a defeatist mentality to me. I'd rather use this offensively for adrenaline rushes. Leadership to help with the morale. 10 because that looks prettier than 9, I guess. It's probably because of this, actually. Maybe it is 9 and 4 because... No, whatever it is, I have these guys at 65, so this might not be entirely correct. This might be like 5 or 6. And that's 9, and maybe that's at like 10. Either way, I have these where they're 65 with a helmet of celerity. So yeah, there must be 3 more alertness. Maybe they're at 6. So I took 2 and 1. Yes, this is probably 10, 9, 6 with a helmet of celerity. So they go at 65 and get headshots off. They also max ballistic skill at 19 with the chest piece, and then above 9 for the headshots. Adrenaline rush to get a red pill back, and introspection gives you a red pill back. So you can get 7 red pills. So you can do a headshot and then even a skill shot. And it is possible. I've done it a bunch. You don't run out of blue pills with reloading and stuff. You just can't really move afterwards. Knee shot, this is going to work with the stimulus and the staggering blows to kind of mess with the turn order. I'm right in the middle of the road in the 60s. So, you know, it can work against a lot of people are in the 70s, 80s. If you face sisters, this isn't doing anything. But you can nerve shot them instead, because this is great for breaking the parry and web of steel for my Dark Souls. So can attracting lure, obviously, but this is a nice, easy way to do it as well. And then headshot, 30% less. So if you're on high ground, you might be able to get a headshot off for like 70 to 80% chance, which isn't terrible. It's worth trying certain times. Quick reload, hardy, to go with this toughness to give you a big HP pool to draw from. Usually I have a helmet of constitution, so he's usually like 370, 360. Kind of beefy. Knowledge of Mordheim to move around the map. So we took the toughness, martial to get that 9 for the headshots. Tome of Abilities, of course, and then yeah, he's got a bow. That might be fucking up the initiative too. So that's the archers, and that's the warband. I think that's gone on long enough. I don't know what you guys think. Again, you can see them in action. Just had a hell of a game against True Griffin. Unfortunately, I won't spoil it, but I guess I just kind of did. It was a 7-7 battle. Came right down to the last turn. There'll be more content coming later. Unfortunately, Karn is scared of me as always, and has decided to withdraw his match for me today. But maybe one day he will not keep running away from me, and we'll play our first battle ever. Otherwise,